Hey guys, it's Ajna here, and a few of you guys have been asking me for some videos, so I'm giving you a little preview of just some of my experiences that I've recently, I guess, witnessed and encountered and experienced. Um, First of all, I just got back from Lightning in a Bottle. Well, not just got back, but I mean, okay, I guess 17 days isn't just getting back, but I'm just getting kind of like settled in. Um, right after Lightning in a Bottle, I went to Denver and then did a photo shoot out there and all kinds of crazy photo shoot stuff and stuff like that. So I haven't had time to really document or do a lot of stuff. So at Lightning in a Bottle, oh my god, okay, where do I even start? Lightning in a Bottle is probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. Matt didn't go with me, so I was alone. Well, I wasn't alone, like I wasn't alone, because my friends Nathaniel and David went with me, and but they were, they're a couple, so they were in their tent a lot, doing their own thing, and kind of just doing their own thing by themselves a lot of the time. I mean, we were together for some of it, but anyways, so a couple of the nights I actually fell asleep early, which kind of sucked, but I mean, I was really tired and it was really hot during the days, and walking around from each stage and being in the sunlight all day, like, look, I got a massive tan. Ugh, I'm getting this filled up too. I'm so excited. Okay, anyways, off the subject, irrelevant. So at Landing in a Bottle, we had an experience, and I mean, first of all, I could say you could discredit me. 100% you can discredit me if you want, to say because I was on mushrooms when I had this experience, but I wasn't on mushrooms to the point where I was hallucinating. I was kind of on mushrooms like the body high, like we took like 1.5 grams, so I wasn't really tripping. And they weren't the most potent mushrooms either, so I mean, if you want to discredit me, you can, but whatever. So we were sitting on a lake, and I don't know how you could discredit two people from saying the same exact thing. Well, actually, three people, but two of us saw one thing, and then three of us saw like the rest of it. But I'll tell you guys now because I don't want to ruin the story. Okay. So we were sitting. It was Saturday night, Sunday morning, at Lightning in a Bottle. Like the night it was about to end, or the day before the day it was gonna end, and yeah, Saturday night, Sunday morning. And my friend Nathaniel and I decided to take some mushrooms. We didn't take that much, we took maybe 1.5 grams. And our friend David also took some, but he took 0.5 gram maybe. He's not really into hallucinogens and stuff like that. But he we all walked down to the lake because there's a lake area, and we all wanted to just kind of like hang out, and we were just enjoying the scenery. We were walking around, and we just kind of pick a spot, and we all just look up at the stars, because the whole time at Lightning in a Bottle we're like, we have to plan a day where we just go out there, lay a blanket out, and look at the stars, and maybe we'll see something. And okay, sorry, it's so exciting to think about because it just brings back memories. And if you guys don't know, Bashar was actually channeled at Lightning in a Bottle, which is crazy because I've been following Bashar's like teachings and channelings for years, since like 2008, well, not 2008, 2009 to 2013. So it was pretty exciting for me to be part of that experience because I've never actually seen an AT channeling like right in front of me, which was awesome because it was Bashar, and yeah, so that kind of has to tie into my story. But okay, so we're sitting on this like we're kind of away from the lake. We're like in this little field of California buckwheat. I learned that there from a hippie dude. He was giving like natural speeches or whatever, and we were sitting there, and our friend David, who's a medium, he has intense interactions with spirits, demons, ETs, very vivid dreams. He's definitely clairvoyant, clairsentient. Yes, so he was there sitting down, and Nathaniel and I were facing the west, and he was facing south. And he was sitting there, and he's like, if you guys are out there, you know, make yourselves known. We want to see you. Give us a show. Like, give us a show. We want to see it. And, you know, literally 2 minutes later, Nathaniel and I, still looking west, we look up and we see a green disc-shaped, like, UFO, because we didn't know what it was, a UFO shoot off and then kind of disappear into like a green spark. And I was so amazed and freaking out because I was like, did you see that? I was like, am I tripping? Because I'm not that tripping. Like, I'm not tripping right now. And he's like, I totally saw that. And he's like, did you see the disc shape? And I was like, oh my god, you saw it too. And I was like freaking out. We were freaking out for like 5 minutes. And then David didn't see it because he was, again, facing the other way. And literally like 2 minutes later, he's like, look at that. And I kid you not, we see a little star. We thought it was a star because all the stars, and it was weird because all the stars around lightning in a bottle looks kind of like, because you know how when you look at the stars and they like they seem far, like they seem really far away, of course, but like that night the stars seemed like closer in, like I don't know. And just like the whole ET presence and the ET channeling thing, I'm sure they were there like observing and curious and stuff like that. Obviously, like it's a festival, it's a spiritual festival on Earth, like where they channel ETs. Of course there's going to be ET presence. But anyways, so we see this little orb in the sky, looks like a star, just start floating by, you know, and we're like, okay, well, to me, I automatically debunk it. Okay, it could be a satellite, you know. And then we see like a plane fly by, and I was like, that's definitely a plane. That's definitely a plane. It's blinking, like it's plane. And then we see a few more, and we're like, what? Like a couple more, like go fast, and then they'll stop. And then another one will go down, and then stop. And we're just like, whoa, they're giving us a show. Like they're actually doing it. Like it's fucking cool. Excuse my language, but they're fucking cool. Like we're seeing a UFO show. And then we see this one. Oh no. Okay. Before that, right after we see these UFOs, like literally, this is all happening within a 5-minute span. Okay, 5-10 minute span. We were sitting in this field, and then all of a sudden, the security truck happens to drive by, and they're like, hey, everybody off the beach is closed, you gotta go back to the festival. And we're like, what? The beach wasn't closed like 5 minutes ago. The beach wasn't closed the night before. Like, why all of a sudden is it closed now? You know, like right after a UFO sighting happened. So that was kind of sketchy for us. Like, we're like, you know, the conspiracy theorist in me was like, oh, that was a UFO, you know. But I mean, I know it was a UFO. My friend knows it was a UFO. I don't know if you guys know it was a UFO, but I mean, definitely saw something. And that's not it. That's not the end of the story. So there's more UFOs. Anyways, so we're sitting there and we kind of like pretend like we're leaving, and we're like, you know what? I think we want to stay. And I was like, and they're like, yeah, we want to stay. So we all kind of sit down, kind of like hidden under these buckwheat because it's kind of tall. It's like, you know, 3 feet off the ground. So we're kind of like hiding behind these buckwheats. And then we see this one UFO, and it kind of like comes from the side, you know. And we're like, oh my god, it's going to the festival. We're like, well, let's follow it, you know. So we follow it, walking through like this little tent area, up and around into, it's a stage called the Temple of Consciousness. So if you were there, you guys would know exactly where it is. We're coming from the lake. So the lake's like back here, and the Temple of Consciousness is here. We're like walking to the Temple of Consciousness. And at the Temple of Consciousness, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And there wasn't a lot of people awake because they burnt themselves out. They were drunk, you know, everybody's sleeping in their tents. And there was maybe, you know, 50 to 100 people kind of like scattered about. Like there was a group of people at the actual stage playing some very beautiful ambient, like, to me, this is how it plays in for me, because to me it was a love song. And we followed this UFO, and we're like, oh my god. And I was like looking at everybody. I was like, why is nobody watching this? Like, why is nobody, you know, a couple of people kind of like looked up and were just like, whoa, you know, like, yeah. And then like, but they weren't really, they were kind of in their own little LIB world, which is totally okay. And we look up, and okay, so so we're looking at the sky now facing north, I believe. Is that north? North? Yeah, it was about northeast, like northeast-ish. And we're following this star that it looks like a star, but we know it's not a star, it's a UFO. But we're for the naysayers and all of the you know, debunkers or whatever. They oh, you know, blah blah blah, whatever. But we know it's a UFO. We all three saw it, even though we were all on mushrooms. But we all three saw it. So I mean, I don't think you can have like a synced. I don't know. To me, mushrooms are like are an in between. You know, you're in between like the veil, so it's easier to have ET experiences, spiritual experiences, you know, meditative experiences, stuff like that. Anyway, so we're following this UFO, and there's like, you know, there's only one other star in the sky, and it's like right here. So this other UFO comes up to the top, like, okay, I'll do it for you guys here. So there's the star in the sky here. This UFO comes up here, and it stops right there. And we're like, okay. And there's this like love song playing at the Temple of Consciousness, and like we're just watching it, like, oh my god, oh, we're freaking out, you know. And then the other star moves, and they go in a circle. I kid you not, they were dancing. They were fucking dancing with each other. And like it was the most like the cutest love song in the world. Like it was like, I can't even explain. Like just think like Lord of the Rings meets like meditation music. I don't know. It was beautiful. But anyways, so they danced around each other, and the UFO that was already there takes off this way, and the one that we followed stays there. And we're just like standing there like, what? Like, seriously, all of our expressions were just like, did we just see this like really go down? And I was freaking out. I started crying. Like, I was like, oh my god, they're here with us. They know that we know that they're there. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. It's so beautiful. Ah, you know, like just stuff like that. And oh my god, like I can't believe it. Like we saw like, I don't know how many like total, but we saw about 5 UFOs at Lightning in a Bottle. And we had an ET channeling with Bashar, and that's not it. That's not the sync. That's not the final sync of my Lightning in a Bottle trip. So, after Lightning in a Bottle, we drove to Arizona because we were going to Sedona because Sedona is on the way home to Mexico. And we love Sedona. Our little group, we go to Sedona once a year, at least once a year. So, we're in Sedona, and we are at the Spirit Center, the Chamber of Commerce, and we're picking up all these flyers for all these cool places, like, yeah, this looks cool, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And, there's one for, like, you know, hiking, horseback riding, stuff like that. And, I mean, every time we go there, we go hiking. Always. We always go hiking when we're there. And we wanted to do something a little bit different this time. And we actually got a flyer for an angel wheel and a labyrinth. Didn't know they were connected, but anyway, so the next day we're like, okay, what do you guys want to do today? And I was like, looking through the flyers, like, let's go to Labyrinth. I've always wanted to go to Labyrinth, and I've never been to one. And there's one in Las Lunas, New Mexico, which is like 30 minutes outside of Albuquerque here, which is 30 minutes away from me here, but I've never been to it. And I was like, I want to go to Labyrinth. I've never been to one. I've always wanted to walk one. I've heard you can have really intense experiences, spiritual experiences, ET experiences. I want to go. So we get to this place, and it's called Angel Valley in Sedona. Check it out. It's awesome. But anyways, so we go to this place called Angel Valley in Sedona, and we drive in, and there's the labyrinth. And I'm like, oh my god, we have to do this. Like, it's so awesome. And like on the sign, it's like, all right, donate or fee for daily use. And we're like, okay, let's go see. So we get to the front, we go inside, and there's a beautiful lady, and she's just like, oh yeah, blah blah. She tells us about it. She's like, the only thing is you have to go talk to the owner to talk to him, because we were kind of like, we were kind of low on money, so we were like, well, what could we do to, like, you know, maybe we could help you out. And he's like, well, how about this, you go and experience what you're going to experience here, and sorry, Matt just came. And we'll talk about it after. We'll see if you still want to donate after. And he was telling us that there was an actual UFO sighting at Angel Valley, at the labyrinth, the large labyrinth, there by his stepdaughter, while she was like breastfeeding her baby at like 2 in the morning. She looked out her window, and there was a UFO over the labyrinth, like on the labyrinth, and we're just like, ah, this is so cool, you know? And 5 minutes later, we were still talking. 5 minutes later, he tells us, he's like, yeah, you see this picture? This is Bashar. This is a artist interpretation of Bashar, and I'm in contact with Bashar, and he's in contact with me, and he actually wanted me to build this labyrinth. And we're just like, what? Like, what? This is crazy. Like, first of all, we see Bashar, and second of all, I've had, like, you know, I wanted to meet Bashar for so long. Well, like, you know, I wanted to be in his presence, I guess, because you can't really meet him physically yet. And we get there, and this labyrinth, and then, you know, we go do the labyrinth. It was magical. We see fairies. We not in the labyrinth. We went, actually, there's a creek. It was by Oak Creek, and like there's like, you know, we walked around, and there's like these little cocoons, and like there's little fairies. I'm really connected to the fairies and the elementals, so this is the first time I've actually seen fairies, but they were there. You can ask my friends. Totally intense, mystical experience. We went under a little arch, and like it just like transformed us, and we went back to the guy, and we're like, oh my god, yeah, here's the money, like we're gonna pay, blah blah blah. Like, it was an amazing experience, life changing, you know. We feel so much lighter, we feel so much more, you know, connected. And the labyrinth experience, like for me, it was kind of a connection with my higher self, and I emerged with I actually saw these like Bashar entity kind of people. Like, one was, it was to me, it was like more of a female presence. I don't know if it was female, it just felt female to me. And as I was leaving, I felt like I was going through like a doorway. Like at the end of the labyrinth, I felt like I was going through a doorway back to like this world. And we went back and we told him, we're like, yeah, we had a really crazy experience. And I was like, I felt the presence, like there's presence there, like ET presence. And he's like, oh yeah, he's landed there. Bashar's landed there. He's in a different dimension. That's his landing pad. And we're just like, what? Like, no way. This is so cool. So yeah. So my experience in Sedona was pretty crazy. And yeah. And then we camped. Oh, and then we camped, and then we took mushrooms again, and we felt a very strong Native American presence, and I felt like someone was watching us. And then that same night, my friend felt like he might possibly have gone up with them for a little while, but he can't really remember. But he definitely felt an ET presence. I passed out. I was really tired. I get really tired early. I'm like the lame one. I'm like the lame, like, go to sleep early girl. But anyways, so yeah, that was my experience in 20 minutes. Holy shit, I can't believe I talked that fast. I'm sorry if you guys can't keep up, or like, this chick's annoying, whatever. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my experience. If you guys have any UFO experiences, please tell me. I love talking about this stuff. I don't really have a lot of people to talk about it with, because when I do talk about it to some people, they're just kind of like, you're crazy, or they just give me that look like, yeah, UFO, yeah, like only other spiritual people or people who are into UFOs and stuff like that actually understand and get me. So yeah. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I will try to make another one pretty soon. And yeah, namaste, thanks for watching, peace to your day, blessings to all of you, blessings to all involved with you, light and love.